parents, faculty, teachers, and Dr. Ackerman. I'm so amazed that I didn't figure this out till now. The battle has always been about contracts and the Promise Academies.
Right, yes.
Always.
Yes.
On Tuesday, 23rd, 2005, the Philadelphia Inquirer posted a story. And they wrote, Philadelphia has launched an initiative to improve and better the market for center city schools in order to retain higher income residents. According to this article in the Philadelphia Inquirer, selling schools to families, a new campaign touts 20 center city schools aimed at retaining the middle class. This is what it's always been about. These Promise Academies level the playing field for inner city kids, and we didn't figure it out. We were so duped into thinking this was about Dr. Ackerman and the attack that confused us and deflected the attention off the Promise Academies. What happens is, these Promise Academies, they actually level the playing field for inner city kids. If you had the kind of gains that the Promise Academies had in any other school district other than Dr. Ackerman's, it would be on 60 Minutes and at the least headline news. When you get a school to go from 10% proficiency in reading and math to 40%, that's world news, because it never happened. These Promise Academies are the most successful program for transforming underperforming schools in the history of Philadelphia. Let me say that again. These Promise Academies that Dr. Ackerman has brought here are the most successful program in the history of Philadelphia for transforming underperforming schools. How, if we're serious about educating our young people and transforming education opportunities, could we even consider cutting anything with a Promise Academy? See, let me tell you something. Some private academies pose a threat to the resources. See, some people see these Promise Academies as a threat to the resources of their schools. This is why they so relentlessly attack these schools and their teachers. Even though they have proven to be the most successful program in the history for turning around schools, they have three times the gains as any district average in schools. Even though these Promise Academies have shown gains from 10% to 40%, this would make any headline news around the country. The more you attempt to tear down good people, the more I'm motivated. The harder I fight for fairness, equality, and justice for our kids. Dr. Ackerman, I know it's tough, but you can't go. You can't go. If Reverend Jesse Jackson calls education the civil rights battle of our decade, you are my Rosa Parks. You can't go to the back. You can't let it go. You can't go alone. You can't get along. You can't go along just to get along. Unfortunately for you, Dr. Ackerman, but fortunately for the kids of Philadelphia, you got to stand here and take it. You got to stand here and take it, Dr. Ackerman, like the rest of the superheroes, like the rest of the heroines. You got to stand here and take it from them for us. Some accuse me of being on the payroll or ask me, how much are you getting in contracts? I'm being attacked by some because they can't believe that I'm fighting this hard for these schools and Dr. Ackerman. Well, the primary reason why I'm fighting so hard and long is because in June, my first grader, when I came home, my wife said Elsie was crying. And I said, why was you crying? She said, tell her, Elsie, what did you tell me when I came home in June?
Tell them, baby.
My teacher lost her job, and now what are you going to do about it?
She said, what are you going to do about it?
Mr. Bussie, let's wrap.
What are you going to do about it? And what would any parent do? What would any parent do when they first grader said, my teacher lost her job, what are you going to do about it? So I asked any caring parent, what would you do? And I asked, if you kick Dr. Ackerman out or think about kicking Dr. Ackerman out, we're going to speed up the process of sweeping everybody out. The SRC, the SCFO, the contract, we're going to revise and sweep everybody out. And I just got to say something about school funding. How dare City Councilman Brian O'Neill, who's on the Education Committee, vote against fair funding, vote against suing Governor Corbett. He was the only councilman to vote against fair funding. How dare you be on the Education Committee in this city and vote against fair funding? We got to stop these games and stop this madness. Dr. Ackerman, you can't go. Too bad.